Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Pretty Boy Bat Rep, and this is for Buckeye Battles. I'm just gonna do a very long video. Well, hopefully not too long, but a longer video for you guys for the doubles tournament. I'm gonna do all 3 games in this video. Sorry it's taken a little while to get these going. Crazy work week, so we'll get these done and then get into the singles GT. So. Sir MC, Mark, and I were playing in the doubles tourney together. We just took our respective armies and kind of made lists through that. So he took KOE. Uh, I just call this guy Duke Terminator. I could try to find the list, but I'm not gonna go through those efforts. He's a badass. He's got that Fortress of Faith thing where he rolls ones for everything. And he has, like, on the charge, for every wound he does, he gets an extra attack. So definitely a blender. He's got the obligatory big units of Knights of the Realm with Banner Last Charge. I think there's like 11 of them, maybe 12, something like that. And he had 8 or 9 Grail Knights with Flaming, and he had a Scorpion. So he's taking all the mobile stuff, all the combat threats, and I'm taking all the magic and shooting. So I got King Narcissus. He has Double Crown. He's my general. So Leadership 9 with 18-inch bubble. And he has the little trick of being able to Vanguard with this unit and then using Feigned Flight with them, which is kind of neat. Got Cave Goblin Witch Doctor with Thaumaturgy, and he's a master. So try to bring down those Wrath of the Gods, those Comets. I got a big unit of Cave Goblins, of Bows, Standard Discipline so they won't panic, and a couple Mad Gits. And all the toys. So you can see what I have there. So the only orc in this list is that Orc Overseer on the Git launcher. So plenty of shooting on my end, plus Mark Scorpion. So we got a pretty balanced approach going here. And we'll see how it does. Now, round 1, we were playing Tex Arcanada. So it's a mix of Texas and Canada. We were actually grudged to play them. Pete Reese is normally on this team. Unfortunately, he got caught, I believe, in traffic on his way up here. So luckily, we had a ringer with us, Cassidy, who was our traveling companion, and he filled in for him. So we're playing against Cassidy and Joshua Wright. So it is a good old-fashioned Empire and Dwarf alliance. On this picture, you can see a unit of Rangers, starting from left to right. Unit of Rangers, a big unit of Great Swords. That looks like an organ gun, but it is not. It is a flame cannon, actually. And then we got a big unit of the Deep Watch with a character in there. I believe that's his general. A bolt thrower. And then a big unit of guild-crafted handgunners. And then there's an Arcana engine back there, and it's the one that grants distracting. Now, I like the way they did the rules for the doubles lists. You can't purchase a BSB, but your general acts as your teammate's BSB. So that was kind of cool. And on our side, we got a wrecking team. Those are, all knights look the same to me, but I believe that those are the Knights of the Realm behind the hill. My Cave Goblins vanguarded further up on the hill with bows. I got a Scrap Wagon, the Skewer, and then we got the Scorpion, Grail Knights, Lord Breslin, which is his general. He kept out of the unit. Another Scrap Wagon, Git Launcher behind, and then a Lone Wolf Chariot all the way to the right. Oh, and I forgot, on their end, they have a big unit of Knights, of the Empire Knights. So, I believe we took... Did we take first turn? I don't know. No, they took first turn. So the bolt thrower takes off a couple wounds on the chariot. They do some other type of range shooting, and they put 3 wounds on the scrap wagon. Not too shabby. We tried to keep most of our stuff back. And then our turn, and we are pushing forward. So the chariots move up, goading those knights to charge through the woods. Unfortunately, Mark deployed his Grail Knights too close to the Scorpion, so they had to like sideways shuffle. They couldn't just turn and go. So that's why they're like that. In Magic, Twitch starts going off with his Thaumaturgy spells. He's got Hand of Heaven. Which, what does that even do? I'm not sure. Does a couple wounds to something, and then he gets down to Wrath of the God. Very nice. So a little overview picture. Oh, I did a couple wounds to his scorpion. That's what it was. Or not a scorpion, his bolt thrower. Anywho, I don't know why I took so many pictures of this. Oh, I know what this is. Great upside down picture. We then went into shooting, and between our bolt throwers and the Git launcher, we killed several deep watch, which was very nice. Yep, so showing that there, and there, all working together. Oh no, those were the bolt throwers. Then the Git launcher goes and kills off 4 knights, which is fantastic. He passes a panic test, though. Tex Arcanda's turn. The knights charge through the woods bravely and dodge all the trees, and they're going to get into that scrap wagon. They charged my wolf chariot first. I fled, and you can see that Lord Breslin has snuck over into the water for a potential countercharge. And then, yeah, the scrap wagon wandered into the field. The great swords are going to take care of that. In Magic, they get off scrying, anticipating a countercharge, which is fine. But then they did get rerolls to hit with the handgunners, which is not so good. In shooting, they do 5 wounds to the scorpion, failing to kill it by 1. There are 6 peasants guarding it, so we got lucky on that from the handgunner shooting at it. The knights blow through that chariot and get out of arc of the general's countercharge. And the great swords kill the scrap wagon easily. And then our turn. Sorry for these pictures, but I threw this together pretty quickly. Yeah, just some movement here. The National Wrecking Team's trying to get in front of those great swords. The knights are following behind, like a running back behind a blocker. Over here, the countercharge works with the Grail Knights going into there, so those should be easy points that we pick up. I believe this scenario was capture the flags, so let's get those scoring units. I Hand of Heaven off a couple guys, no big deal. The Wrath of God does not come down, though, so that's that marker. And then it is, I guess this is shooting. You can see some more Deep Watch are missing. I think some wounds were done to the Arcane Engine. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No, this is the Wrath coming down. So, yeah, it did come down. Some Deep Watch got killed. And then the Bolt Thrower was removed. A few wounds were done to the engine. A few Guild-crafted handgunners were killed. So, good job, Comet. And this is shooting over here. The goblins go crazy with their bow shots and start killing off Imperial Guard left and right. We kill the knights over here, not surprisingly. Over here, just shifting forces around, trying to keep a solid center. Not much really happens. Yeah, and I think this is just, yeah, us maneuvering around. I love this picture. Up close and personal, he rolls up 1 inch away, which is perfect. Everybody's starting to move up behind. We're going to try to tighten the noose. Oh, and then we do get a multi-charge off with the Knights after taking a round of shooting and Duke Terminator over there. So they both go into the handgunners. Hopefully we can break them. Otherwise, we're taking a flank charge from Deep Watch, which would be really, really bad. So that is that. Wolf Chariot Rallied is coming back. In Magic, I get another Wrath down, which is awesome because everything's in the center there. The handgunners do break, and they are caught, which is nice. Do Terminators out of arc, but the Knights are not, so he could still make that charge, possibly. However, from that combat, the Arcane Engine needs to take a panic test, and it fails, and it runs through the woods and dies to DTs. So pretty anticlimactic way to go. So yeah, it's dead. And then in the closing turns, the Deep Watch are kind of just trying to move out of the way. the Comet comes down, kills more guys. The one unit knight just goes off into the corner. Stay away from everything. The Duke's coming back around. The knights with the banner of the last charge go into the great swords, and that's probably not going to end well. Because I think he did end up stepping on the National Wrecking Team and just taking a ton of wounds. Yeah, so that's why it's in the dead pile. That's that. We get a -1 strength or -1. I think we did -1 resilience on these guys, so it's easier to wound them. We just keep picking on that deep watch unit. There's not many left. I released Mad Gitch just for the hell of it, and at this point they just said, let's scoop. So fun game. Unfortunately, it was a little lopsided, but we had a good time. We were drinking beers and laughing and yelling things at models, so all was fun. But this ended up being a 20-0 for our first game, so good start. And we move on to game 2. So we will get headshots in a minute. Right now you have to deal with their torsos. It's Rob Navarez and Kenyon Duncan. I think their team name was Drink and Roll, something like that. And they have a Vermin Swarm and Saurian Ancient alliance, but it's mostly a skink Saurian Ancient army, so it's a very low leadership kind of alliance, which is interesting. All the way on the left, there's a big unit of Clan Rats with a meat grinder in it. Then he's got 4 Thunder Hulks with, I believe, a Naphtha Thrower. Behind the ruins is a Salamander. Then there's a Stygiosaur, a big unit of Plague Brotherhood with a general on the Pendulum. Then 4 Cayman with his general in there. It's a Cayman Ancient. And then he's got like a Skink Priest on a Palanquin in a huge unit of Skinks with the Tree Frog banner, which I think that's what it's called, and gives it poison attacks. And he's got like 3 or 4 Skink characters in that unit too, with like paired weapons and poison as well, so that's kind of cool. For this one, it is... what is it? The objective is glory... Spoils of War. That's what it is. Holy crap. Okay. So, basically, this Skink unit picks up that token on that side. And then this R deployment is all the way at the top. You got Knights of the Realm. You got the Goblins in the center. War Machine Hill with the Chariot on it. Then Git Launcher in the back. Grails. And then Scrap Wagons hugging the back corner with the National Wrecking Team. And then Mark's General all out by himself. And here they are. Rob's on the left and Kenyon's on the right. Really fun group. We actually played a drinking game during this battle where if you used any old terms, like oh, we need to change everything because of IP, you had to drink. So you do the math on that of how many drinks we were taking. So this is their turn. They're basically moving forward with everything, and then we responded back. The Scrap Wagons being used as chaff to kind of goad them forward. Knights are coming up the middle. Everything's kind of just shifting up a little bit. And then on their turn, the Salamander's moving forward aggressively to take out the Goblins, which is fine. It'll have 1 turn of shooting, and then I should be able to kill it with all the shooting I have. And then just turn the bows onto one of those 2 other units. I think in Magic they do 1 wound to the National Wrecking Team, which is not a big deal. In shooting, they kill several Goblins. Goblins have a token, but they can't panic, so that's fine with me. There's some buff that he gets off on the Plague Brotherhood. And at this point, because I don't think there's going to be much better chance of doing this, we do the big multi-charge onto the Plague Brotherhood. The Grail Knights go in, the Duke Terminator goes in, and then the Goblin Wolf Chariot comes into the flank. The National Wrecking Team and the Scrap Wagon go up to chaff this skink unit, which is huge because then he can't get a counter charge, which is pretty awesome. So Natural Wrecking Team will die and probably not do that much to that unit because it's so big, but at least it's doing something. The med gets released and kill the salamander, which is great. Not too much really happened in shooting. The shooting phases were pretty abysmal. So this is this combat, and it looks like one knight is down, but then all the carnage. At least half the unit's dead, if not more. So well done. Unfortunately, he is still stubborn, and he's stubborn like leadership 7 or 8, and he holds. So on their turn, they charge a scrap wagon. Caimans are setting themselves up. The Stygiosaur is going around to the flank of the knights. The Rat-at-Arms fail their march test, so they just do a little bit of maneuvering. Regen on the Plague Brotherhood, which is bad. Unfortunately, in the turn before, we were 1 wound away from killing the Pendulum. So it's hanging on to 1 wound, and now he's healing it, which is bad. Breath Weapon kills a bunch of knights, also really bad. Kills the Wrecking Team and the Scrap Wagon. A few Sinks die. Everybody cries about it. Oh, back into this combat. So, can't kill the Pendulum now. And it's only got like 1 or 2 wounds left, which stinks. Some more rats die, but we still lose combat by like 1 or 2. The Knights all hold, but the Wolf Chariot runs off, which is not the best. And then the Wolf Chariot dies to something. I'm not sure. But it dies. Maybe Dangerous Trains. I'm not sure. So in our turn, I'm popping the characters out of the Goblin unit, because even though the rats can't see them, that Stygiosaur can go in and start crushing guys. The Goblins should be steadfast for a while, but definitely don't want them to eat the characters. And hopefully the artillery can do its job. Let's see. Knights are continuing to go around to hopefully help out on this side, because we desperately need it at this point. I did put a Wrath of the God down behind that Pendulum. But it still hasn't come down. You can see all those tokens building up, so the Wrath is not very reliable this game, and we still couldn't kill off the unit. So down a couple more Knights. The Cayman now come in and charge the General, which is not good. Stygiosaur coming to the Goblins, which is still not good because I can hold them up, but for how long? How long will they hold? Healing Waters again on, I think, the Cayman this time. Goblins hold here, and I reform into ranks so that they can hold a little longer. The artillery did not do its job. There's only 1 wound on it, which is terrible. Like I said, the shooting was really bad this game. Everything breaks down here. The funny thing is, the Pendulum dies in the pursuit because it goes into the woods. So the good news is the Pendulum's dead. There are hardly any rats left, so half points for that unit, but the Grail Knights are done. Hopefully Duke Terminator can rally, and he does, because, well, let's face it, he's a champ. The Goblin characters move over to yell stuff at him, I guess, help out whatever way they can. I decide to cast another Wrath of the God since the first one still hasn't come down. And then with shooting, 1 wound is done to his general, 1 onto the unit. And then into combat we go. The Goblins hold out a little bit longer, which is great. The Knights are now walking over one of the Wrath of the God counters, which is not good. Just trying to get back into things. And of course now the Wrath comes down, everything's too far away, and all that happens is a couple Knights die, but they pass their panic test. And then the game's picking up now. The Goblins fail their steadfast check in the next round of combat, which is bad. We lose that token. He gobbles up the Goblins. Those rats have failed a march test every single time. So they're basically out of the game now. In Magic, though, Bring the Pain is wrought onto the Skinks. At this point, I think Lord Breslin or Duke Terminator or whatever, he is dead, I want to say. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead. So now it's just Skinks, and what we do is, in a last-ditch effort, we send the 2 remaining knights on a charge into the Skinks, and not only do they have rerolls to hit, but I also cast the spell that negates their ability to use their general's leadership. So even though they would be steadfast, they're only steadfast on leadership 6. So the 2 knights go in. 1 knight dies in combat. They kill a couple guys. They have the charge. He can't count ranks because he's in line formation, and he rolls a 7 on the minimized roll. And that one frickin' knight runs down that entire brick of Skinks, which was amazing. So that was a huge point swing at the end. Unfortunately, the second Wrath of God does not come down to try to get more points, but thus ends the game. I think we got 5 turns in. So it ended up being a 6-14 loss, but it could have been much, much worse. It was looking really good for us when we had a huge multi-charge onto those rats, but they made a kind of a dicey leadership test, and then just we couldn't kill that pendulum quick enough. So, really fun game. On to game 3. So here we go. Scrapwagon, Git Launcher, Chariot, Knights with his general in the unit this time. Grail Knights there. Cave Goblin's Hole in the center with a Skewerer. And then over on the right are the Scrapwagon and Nash Wrecking team. Where are the Knights of the Realm in this? I don't know. We'll see in a minute. And we are playing Charles Sadler, and I don't remember the other guy's name. I don't remember their team name either. But Charles Sadler is Evershade Gaming, so he has a really nice YouTube channel, so check it out if you have the chance. This is a human alliance. It's Kingdom of Aquitaine and Empire. So they hug the back corner. On the left, they got a unit of crossbowmen. They've got a cannon. Then there's a big unit of flagellants with his prelate in there. And there's 2 big units of Knights of the Realm, just 2 big buses. You can see we've done our turn 1. Everything is just marching up. Oh, Knights of the Realm are all the way over on this hill, so they're moving up. Again, trying to bait him with charges to do counter charge. On this side, they've got a unit of swordsmen. In the woods is a repeater volley gun, and then there is the Spicy Chicken, which is the character in the Griffin. So this was our movement. In Magic phase, I get a boosted Hand of Heaven off. I kill the cannon with it, just rolled high, which was great. And it causes a panic test on the crossbowman, and they flee off the board. And his Cosmology Adept was in there. So that was a huge, huge, huge swing, turn 1. So now, they decide to play ballsy, because they're thinking this game is over, they need to take chances. So they declare charge with the flagellants onto the Scrapwagon. They need a 9 on 2 dice. The Knights of the Realm, that big bus there, on Swift Stride, needs a 12 to get into the Grail Knights with the General. They both make it in. Not looking good. Over on the right, the Knights go into the Scrapwagon, which is fine. They did a long charge with the Griffin, but that one failed, so he just moves up. The volley gun opens up, and the machine gun kills the Nash Wrecking team, I know. Everybody's shocked. Ooh, ah, ooh. This is a terrible picture, but it does show that the Knights held against all freaking odds. It was unbelievable. What made the difference was that the Grail Knights opened up on the flagellants after the flagellants killed the Scrapwagon and overran into it, which gave us like 7 combat res. So even though the bus is pretty much intact, the Grail Knights still have 5 aboard save, they still have good armor. He kills several of them, but then it kind of evened out. He had to make like a leadership 5 check, and he passed it. which is amazing. So now you have Duke Terminator taking on the world with 3 Grail Knights, and hopefully Druidism helping out. And then Wolf Chariot is there with the counter charge. So this is just a crazy game right off the bat. And boom, that Chariot's going in. What's up? Boom, over here, the Knights of the Realm are going to hopefully kill that chicken and then get into that artillery piece. Goblins are moving up. Rerolls to hit in this combat, help them out as much as possible. And let's throw down a Comet just because. Over here is just some shooting. Pick off a few Knights, which is nice. And then the combat here, everybody sticks around. Chariot helps out a little bit. The Flagellants are dying like flies now. They roll terribly and don't kill anything. All they do is a couple wounds to the Chariots. So, we're all good. They're steadfast. They stick around. The Flagellants are unbreakable, so no problem there. Knights of the Realm lose quite a bit in the battle to the chicken, but end up killing it. And then they turn to face, because those knights in the middle are trying to sit on the objective, which is it's secure targets. That's one of the tokens. I'm not sure what this is showing. Oh, this must be our turn again. Just goblins moving up. That protracted combat over there just continues to grind out. We charge the artillery piece. I get the breath weapon off on his character. But I do miscast, and my caster takes a couple wounds. No big deal. Over here, now all the Flagellants are dead. It's just his Prelate left. And his Knight Bus, he actually kills a Knight this round. And then over here, this unit of Knights decides it's going to start cleaning up War Machines, so it goes in here. Because he keeps losing Knights to them. So, that's fair. Oh, what do we got going on here? Okay, so the Goblins are just sitting on the objective. There's really not much for them to do, so they just start moving back this way. Knights over here want to stay near that objective. We're going to keep just pumping spells into here. Rerolls to hit. He kills the one artillery piece but fails to overrun into the other one and loses like 3 Knights to DTs, which is awesome. And oh my god, look at this combat. So at this point, the Chariot's dead. His Prelate is fleeing. And Duke Terminator just went off and killed a bunch of Knights. There's only 1 Grail Knight left, though. They stick around. Over here, artillery goes off. Kills off a bunch of Knights. He's trying to get his character in the last Knight off the board. Finally, again, the stupid Wrath took forever to come down. It comes down. Really doesn't do that much. Kills some swordsmen. Kills a couple Knights. Not a big deal. With shooting, the last Knight is dead. He's just got the character left. And then with Cleansing Fire, this this Knight Bus is finally dead. I can't believe that still. That's incredible. A unit of Flagellants with a Prelate and a unit of Knights of the Realm, a full bus charge into this unit, and we still came out on top. Didn't deserve it, but it happened. And because I was silly, Twitch wanted to throw another Comet down, and his head exploded in the process. But this brave bolt thrower turns around and skewers that character, which is awesome. Picks up those points. Unfortunately, though, in trying to hold this objective, it allows, on the last turn, the swordsman to charge in the flank. They win. The Knights run. He restrains, and he holds on to that objective, and then the Knights rally. So in the end of this game, we won 16-4 because we tied on the objective. Whew! What a doubles tournament. These games were so much fun, and the last 2 games were especially swingy, which is something you don't see quite as much in the singles games. So really good opponents, had a great time. I don't know what place we came in, but we ended up doing pretty well. We were probably fairly high up there. The only award we won, though, is we did win a Buckeye Battle Glass, which was pretty neat. And that was because we had the highest round 1 score, I think is what it was for. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, that's the end of the doubles tournament. So the next couple videos that are going to come out are going to be about the singles GT. I do want to segue into the Dragon's Den, though, which is a tournament we are hosting September 8th through 9th in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. You've heard me talk about this before. Check it out on the 9th Age forum. It's under the heading like Dragon's Den 2-day tournament in Phoenixville, something like that. If you have trouble finding it, just message me either on here or on the forums. 2-day tournament. It'll be a lot of fun. We got a lot of people that have signed up for this already. I mean, for a first-time tournament, we've got over 30 people signed up. We got a lot of out-of-towners coming in. So any other people that maybe think it's too far away, let me know. Because I could probably, whether it's at my house or Mark's or Phil's house, I'll get you a place to stay. So you don't have to pay for a hotel room. So that kind of might offset either a plane ticket or gas. Whatever you got to do to get out here, we're here. It's going to be a blast. The rules packet is also online, so you can check that out. Alright guys, that's enough for this one. Sorry that things were more detailed, but my memory's a little hazy on the doubles tournament. There was a lot of beer involved. The singles tournaments, though, are pretty fresh in my mind. I'll get those out as fast as I can. Until next time, hit like, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and peace.